My portrait of Venus.
Interview with Punx Media. And first and foremost, just who are you? What's your name?
Well, my name is Honey Pierre, and I'm a textile artist here in Atlanta, Georgia, based, and I make a lot of my figures with yarn.
Right. So, can you go into detail a little bit about what is a textile artist?
A lot of textile artists, by definition, we're using natural fibers. A lot of it is with fabric, yarn, felted wools, even just normal day-to-day materials like plastic, even upcycling in that way. Because it is some of it's like textile, like fabric or fibers or some sort, but in that sense, yeah.
Okay. So, how long would you say you've been doing art? Just I guess in general, because I know sometimes it's from birth, sometimes it's whenever.
Yeah, I've been involved in art for a very long time. My mom told me recently she found an old photo of me. I've been drawing since Sunday school, when I was a kid. And then I started really getting serious about creating artwork and intentionally learning too, like when I was 16, 17, and then going into like being an adult. That's when I started actually saying, you know what, I can actually do this for real, and then taking the ideas I have in my head and creating pieces.
Nice. So I did want to know, did you go to school for something art related, or were you just self-taught?
So I am self-taught. I didn't go to school for a BFA, which is a Bachelor of Fine Arts, but I am looking forward to that chapter just because it's cool to be self-taught, but you do need that network at some point.
Absolutely.
Depending on what tiers you're trying to be in. And the levels that I do want to be in, I do want to have an education behind me, a little bit more knowledge to help me get to where I want to be.
Right. No, I agree. So where did you come up with the idea to incorporate yarn into your painting? Like, I know that there are other textile artists, but what made you be like, I could put this into my artwork too?
It was the pandemic. We all got to sit down and I got to reevaluate my practice a lot, because even though I was painting and I was doing murals before the pandemic and figuring out my style, there was a time where I was just like, you know what, something's not clicking. And I knew there was like something missing. I have a great relationship with God, and I feel like during that time when I was sitting down and just sitting still, I randomly just started looking up like this type of stuff. And that's how I knew I was like, I was supposed to be adding this into my art. And here we are.
Because that's what drew me to your art, actually, was when you came to this gallery, which is Mint Gallery. And when you came here, I was seeing it all over Instagram, and I was like, oh my God, these pieces though. Like, I was like, they're not like just watercolor or acrylic paintings. Like, these are, it's crazy. Like, props to you. So who is a top artist that you would say you've been most inspired by?
Well, there is this textile artist. She inspired me so much to even switch over because of her story of switching to textile. She was an oil painter. Her name is Bisa Butler. She's like the Beyonce of quilts. Yes.
I'm gonna look her out.
She's the Beyonce of quilts. But she's definitely inspiring me just like with how to tell a great narrative using your figures in textile. Like she quilts, I know how to quilt also. She mainly switched over because of, carrying her children. You can't have all those toxins, so that's what made her switch over to textile. And I'm like, you know what?
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because I do want to have children at some point, and I don't want to be slowed down in my practice or creating, just because of that. And honestly, I enjoy this way more. She inspired me.
Right. Okay. Nice. I will definitely look her up.
Yes, Beyonce, I'm telling you.
So, like I said, I first came across your art as you came into the studio, and congratulations.
Thank you.
But what advice would you give to someone who is looking to be an artist full time and working toward either getting in a studio or having their own studio?
My biggest advice for anybody getting into the creative field, period, is consistency. Like, you can be talented. Everybody's talented at something in their life, you feel me? But the consistency is what's going to get you there. And with consistency gets you the money, and the money gets you to the things that you want, which is the studio, and the studio gets you to more time to actually invest in your craft.
That's true. And don't be afraid to invest.
And don't be listen.
Don't be afraid to invest in yourself.
I can tell you so many stories where I could have bought a brand new Mercedes or something, but instead I invested the money back into my work.
I'm not saying I'll be like, I could buy this, but I'm gonna get a camera.
Exactly.
I need this. So, what is the most rewarding part of being a full-time artist?
Most rewarding thing, honestly, the luxury of having to curate my life the way I want it to be. Mm-hmm. And that comes again with just like discipline and consistency. I feel like by doing that hand in hand and then also making artwork that connects to people is why I got the luxury to do what I want to do. And like, yeah, sure, I gotta do a lot of applications and like do grant writing and you know all that stuff, but at the end of the day, by me taking those steps and actually being committed and following through, I'm able to be a full-time artist and not be struggling or worried about stuff, you know, and then having a network of people that if I was to be in those positions, somebody's going to buy things.
Right. Exactly.
You know? So, yeah.
Nice. So what are some challenges that you've ran into thus far being a full-time artist?
The main challenge, honestly, is like people perceive that you just have all this time to do anything. That's been one of my biggest challenges. So I'll just be like, you guys, like, actually, like, I know I'm a full-time artist, and
but you have a life too.
I have a life, and this is my job.
Right.
Like, me being in here is my job. I have to come to the studio. Like, I literally pay to be here, and then I have to make artwork, and then there's more layers to it.
Right.
Like, that's the thing, time. A lot of people want more time out of you because they figured out that you're full-time doing what you want to do, and it's like, it doesn't work like that.
Right, because like you said, you still have to do the grant writing, you still have to do all the extra behind the scenes that people don't see.
It's not sexy.
Right. So what is your favorite piece? And I know a lot of them are still in the works, but so far, what is your favorite piece?
In this room, my favorite piece is probably this piece over here. It's called Auntie Day. It's from my solo exhibition that's happening in December at UTA here, and I'm excited about it. It's basically going through the periods of like how we are as individuals from the pandemic to now. Like during the pandemic, I realized a lot of people had a sense of empathy that arose. A lot of people became spiritually conscious and inclined.
That's true.
Some people discovered themselves for the first time. A lot of people discovered what love really is in different forms. Instead of just being naive or not wanting to recognize those different forms. And during that time, a big thing for me was community.
Absolutely.
You know, and with it being so limited and people, you know, it was fair. You could be scared. People were dropping.
Yeah, right.
You know, I understand. People were a little scared. You know, we don't want to admit it all the time, but like this specific piece represents like me and my friends getting together because we will have a day out of the week, every couple weeks, where we all connect, get a case of wine,
right? And
we're gonna get lit, and we're gonna talk shit about our men and you know, money and what we want to do coming out of it. And that was the one time we all got to really commune and have community.
Nice. I love that.
Thank you.
So, how can we stay up to date with what you have going on?
Best way is social media.
Social media.
Instagram, Honey Pierre _. I do have a website, but it's just like my basic knowledge of who I am as an artist, my resume, work collection. That's honeypierre.com. And those are the two best ways.
Gotcha. So, anything we should be looking forward to that you've been working on, other than, of course, in December, because that's big, of course. But anything else that we should be looking forward to?
Well, I have group exhibitions going on across the nation throughout like the rest of this year. And the one show in Atlanta, which will be in December. And then I have activations and partnerships happening here in the city throughout in the spring to early fall. So a lot of that's going to be coming out. I can't really put it out today, but you know.
Right. Oh, of course. Yeah. What you can tell me.
Facts. 404 day, we're lit.
Ooh, okay.
Right.
So 404 day. And so any last remarks, any last words to leave with Punx Media fans?
I don't know. Stay true to yourself type of shit. Be you. because there's only one person that's called you. And I don't know, just keep creating consistency. Invest in yourself is the biggest piece of advice I can give anybody, no matter what their field is.
Right.
Just keep investing in yourself. It always pays off.